Hello, good morning. Welcome in to another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. You're joined today by host Dom, Master Mateo, and good friend and colleague, Mr. Kyle Williams. Snaps for Kyle in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for him being here today. Huddy is dealing with some wisdom tooth pain, aches, and something. So he is not really talking at the moment. So Kyle is here to talk for him. But it is Kyle. It's not an AI generated Huddy. So we're super grateful to have him here today. Super grateful to have all of you here with us. Thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate your time being here for a little pre-market prep where we like to go over all the biggest gappers on the day, talk about their fundamentals, the news, the dilution, talk a little bit about the daily chart, see if anyone here is interested in trading it, and just prepare you for the morning. How we doing on this early morning here, Kyle?
We're feeling good. The market is just hot, like all February long. It's been really freaking
Just
awesome.
kind of given a little opportunity here and there, and it's like I said yesterday, that's kind of like the preferred style. I hate it when it gets too hot, where everyone starts going, "Oh, when's this going to turn off?" You know, because then everyone's kind of negative. But if you don't really have a chance to be negative, because just like, okay, here's a lunar, here's a soon, and you just have enough. You just have enough to like eat off of. That's what you want.
Right, that is what you want.
How's everyone doing? Don't be afraid to get in the YouTube chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, we like to get to those towards the end of the show. Once we finished up with the gappers, do have a couple gappers to go over this morning. We can also briefly mention soon. We got a big cap gapper that we can talk about as well. Up 80% on the day. So, Simon says, miss the stash. That's a Wine Wednesday thing. We'll keep it more casual. We'll try to keep things more professional here on Good Morning NASDAQ. Keep the Marcus Aurelius quotes to a minimum and try to stay to business. It is boot camp week, though, so looking forward to seeing anyone out there who will be in New York City this weekend. It is coming fast. I know I'm excited to see my boys, Huddy, Kyle, Jack. A laptop will be there, Ducks. Super pumped about that. Going to be a good time. So if you guys are in the area and you still want to buy a ticket, they're still available. Clovertrain.io. Prices are going to stay the same now till the event. But yeah, for all you who are signed up, super excited. I love in-person stuff. Love meeting you guys, teaching, talking, trading. I'm like dealing with a cold right now, so my voice is already on life support. So thinking about where it will be a week from now on Tuesday on the VIP trading day. I hope I still have it. Fingers crossed. Because we do a lot of talking, and it's a jam-packed weekend, and it's a lot of fun. All right, what say, Kyle? We get into it.
Let's do it.
Kyle says let's do it, so we're gonna do it. Kyle posted a video last night, Clover Trading YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Don't miss out on any future content. I think that was all about his SMCI trade. So when you're done here, you're done trading this morning. Stay right here on the channel. Go check out our previous videos. We post every single week. We're live every day on the channel, 8:45 a.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9:15 a.m., Wednesdays for live trading, 7 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday nights for Wine Wednesday. We try to keep it good, keep it free, keep it here for you, and hopefully you learn something, and hopefully you have fun, because that's really all life is about, loving people and having fun, right?
I love it. Positive attitude.
I love making Kyle smile because it makes my heart happy.
Okay.
All right, first gapper of the day. Coming in at a whopping 141% on the day. IFBD.
IFBD. I think we've seen the ticker before.
I've heard of it. Let's go to the tracker that tracks dilution. Infobird. That's a dope name. It is a float of 7.46 million coming in out of the country of China. Looks like there's definitely been some reverse splits here. Get into the news here in a moment. 20 hours ago, they announced, Infobird announces delay in effective date of reverse split. So they're reverse splitting again.
Wow.
Let's see.
And they're up because of that? That's interesting.
They regained compliance 2 months ago following another 1-for-20 share consolidation and increase of authorized share capital. Is that just a fancy way of saying reverse split?
I think so, yeah.
9 months ago, they did the same thing to regain compliance. They are, when your entire news thing from the last year is either delinquency, registered direct offering, 1 for 5 share consolidation, regain compliance, and then rinse repeat. Not a great sign. Are you getting, when I start to look over at the chart, little Pumpy vibes?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me go even further. I'm not even looking far enough here. I mean, yes and no. It's never really done a full-on 90% down day, but it definitely.
I mean more of like the last 2 weeks of steady uptrend, with no real news,
Yes,
and the only
that does.
news being that it's really just share structure stuff.
Right. That does look a little sketch. I do agree.
What are we gapping on today? What type of volume? 10 million, not horrible. Got as high as 9 this morning, kind of sitting low in the 5s, highs in the 9 area, kind of mid-range towards the lows right now. What are your initial thoughts? Is this something you really care too much about diving into the dilution on, or do you kind of get the story here?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we can look into the dilution. I know Huddy's always better than that, but I'm just looking at the chart's history.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's really never a multi-day run. Whether maybe sometimes there's a spike and then it drops. Sometimes it just drops. But this ticker has not been a really effective runner. Let's put it that way.
It really
I
hasn't
guess
done any volume either on the whole daily chart when you go past like 150 days ago.
right. And I mean, yes, it has a multi-day run like literally going into this gap. They had like 4 or 5 green days, but the volume was really irregular there. Kind of weird, but yeah, just this is the classic bottom left to top or top left to bottom right chart, right? It just gonna get what it did was that, did you say 3 reverse splits or 2 reverse splits in the last 9 months? Like
I
it
lost
just
track. We're doing one right now. Today's the delay of it. We regained compliance 2 months ago from one, then we regained it 9 months ago from one,
we're doing it again.
and then a year ago we regained it from doing one. So 3 in a year.
Yeah, that's
With
that
no
is
other news in between. Like
the
no
sign of
other,
a-
hey, this is what we're doing with the company.
right. Nothing's
They
changing.
are
just,
AI.
reverse splits.
It says it's a software as a service provider of innovative AI powered or enabled customer engagement solutions. It's actually kind of funny. It is the shortest description of any company I've ever seen on Dilution Tracker. It's one sentence.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, AI makes it hot, but again, it's like what we talked about yesterday. It's already up 140%. Sure, it could go up a few 100%, but like, what are the chances of that? I'm not going to be the guy to be able to tell you that. So we'll have to see.
Pretty low-ish float, 7.46 million. Going to be lower here soon. But yeah, for me, this is kind of a wonky looking chart. You kind of have this multi-day run from the dollar area up to 4 on what appears to be generally light volume. Pretty slow and steady. Kind of had a day yesterday where it kind of fake dumped, and then they announced this news that people are liking. No interest here for me. This is not your normal gapper. This is also not really day 1. This is like day 7 or 8 on this ticker. And I think it's probably just a little bit on the sketch side with all the information we have at hand on Dilution Tracker. And so for those reasons, I'm not interested in the long side for everything Kyle said. Not really interested in the short side just because it's kind of a weird day for a Chinese AI stock with no real information on it that just does reverse splits with a generally low float to be up. So it's a pretty easy one for me to just ignore. I don't know if there'll even be that much interest in this one out of the gate unless it's really going nuts. It's just a wonky one, and I think the whole point of trading is to narrow your focus down to the easiest types of trades you can take, where it's easy to manage risk, easy to know what to expect, easy where to put your risk levels at, and then have a good idea of what's coming in the future of 10, 20, 30 minutes. I definitely don't know that here, and structuring a plan for it sounds really difficult. I think there's more risk here than potential reward, long and short. For me, I know Huddy would probably say up 142%. Probably interested in the short side. If I had to lean a guess way, I would say it probably doesn't do a whole lot today. But we'll check in later and see where it's at. That's kind of my thoughts on that one. The big cap gapper of the day on real news, it looks like VKTX gapping from 38 as high as 87.
Wait, what?
Yep.
You scanned for tickers this high? Jesus.
Schwartz put it in the room, and then I was like, I looked at it, and I was like, that's a pretty insane move.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh yeah, look at
it's
look
like
at the move into this.
an
I remember when
off-brand Ozempic.
Yeah, I remember when this first gapped up back in the fives, back in 2022. Holy crap, what a run this has done. This is impressive.
Be a good one to have in your portfolio, huh?
Yeah, holy moly. This is probably one of the bigger percent gainers in the market the last 2 or 3 years. This is
Yeah, I mean, you
from
look at last year.
From 3 to 70? Casual 2,000%?
Viking Therapeutics.
Wow. Good for them.
So pretty interesting. I know not one that me or Kyle's probably going to trade. I know for me, I won't. Something, really has to do something for a while to get on my radar, like a SMCI over the past few weeks. This is pretty much day one. It's good news. It looks very real. And again, $70 stock trading thick, like not like a holo or something, but actually on news. That's had such a strong run over the past few years. Just kind of interesting to note, again, a $40 to the $80 gap is pretty insane. So just noting it, not something that I will throw all my rules out the window to go trade, but cool to see. The next highest gapper is at 70% on the day. AULT. Let's go to dilution tracker. 4.86 million float BitNile. I'm guessing it has something to do with Bitcoin. It is New York Stock Exchange stock in aerospace and defense. So maybe not Bitcoin. Formerly DPW. So AULT is DPW. I would hope that Kyle would have known that off the top of his head as he is a Bitcoin special. Did you know that?
Say the ticker again. Which one is it?
We're talking about AULT. Don't make me start treating you like Huddy where you're just not paying attention.
No, yeah, I heard
AULT, it is formerly DPW.
Oh, yes, DP. I was like, 'cause I know AULT. I heard it in a different ticker, and I was like, wait, what ticker? DPW, yes, was formerly, I believe, a Bitcoin stock, and the AUT is now as well. What Bitcoin's at? Where are we at? I always have a chart up on the left as like another chart to look at.
You
We're
should
57,000.
have a little ticker screen behind you, where you have your Bitcoin picture. The price of Bitcoin, so run some chords down to a separate laptop that is constantly tracking the price, and then and it shows the ticker BTC and then the price, and then like Ethereum the price, obviously GBTC for you the price, and just have it running all day long.
Right, like little, it just rotates like on the stock exchange.
You should ask Jack with some of his soon profits since he got you that Bitcoin thing, right?
He did get me.
Say you're looking to upgrade it, and that's what you want for Christmas.
Okay, I'll tell him
that. So AULT, let's talk about it. While we're here, they announced preliminary 2023 revenue of $153 million, up 30% from 2022. Float of $4.86 million. They're cash flow positive. That's the only thing that they are green on dilution tracker. Everything else is quite high from an overall risk perspective.
153 million. Aren't they like a 6 million?
153 million cap? What did I say?
Revenue?
That's what it says.
There's something off here. Because their market cap is they're like 2 million.
Yeah.
Like either
so
this
it says it increased by 35 million to a record 153 million from 117.6 million for the year ended December 31st, 2022.
Either this is the most insanely undervalued company, or there's a reason why it's literally almost worthless. Like $2 million market cap is crazy low. Like you're on your way to zero. Well, the float is 5 mil, so that would make this almost 5 million. Either way, still insanely low. Dilution's super high, at least in the past. Need cash is down low.
Market cap says it's 3.3 million.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. This is a little sketch. All their dilution is practically gone, for at least dilution tracker's sake. They do have some warrants at 250 if it gets there. It's a long ways away. Bitcoin's hot right now, so obviously this is why it's up. Some more warrants at 459. It's probably not going to get there. If it does, awesome.
There's a lot of scrolling to get to all the.
Yeah, more warrants at 6. So I mean,
got an ATM.
So yeah, I mean, I don't want to say because the revenue is really good, it's undervalued. I mean, the reason why they got down here is because they diluted this thing into the ground. Clearly, like you look at the chart, it's not hard to see that this is a very dilutive ticker. The question is, do people actually care about the revenues? Because clearly, I don't think they. I mean, they announced that today, or was that just recent news?
That I believe was 2 hours ago.
Like, yeah, it is today. Okay. Then it's not even running as a Bitcoin because it would have been up after hours, unless they announced that noise after hours, but they didn't. Because Bitcoin went nuts in after hours. Interesting. Okay. I mean, again, I'm not a fundamental guy to be why I would long or not long something. So this isn't really like a setup of me of like, yeah, go long. So I don't know. I'm kind of perplexed with the scenario. I don't really know what to expect or think.
You're just
Other
waiting
than
for the other shoe to drop and bad news to come out saying that they fudged the numbers up.
I mean, something like it's just really throwing me off here. Yeah, either it's insanely undervalued or there's something very off. Because
And when you're flustered, you tend to just not click buttons.
yeah, I'm like, huh?
Yeah, we
What?
had a decent move from 40 cents up over $1 back in 3 weeks ago. Kind of faded off since then. Wasn't able to hold those gains. So from just a perspective of, I guess it didn't really gap. It just kind of ran off of that. Probably that would have been the time when Bitcoin was really strong. Maybe. And so that's kind of your biggest area of resistance. Did around 75 mil that day. So a spike from the same area probably runs into a decent amount of resistance at that area. So I think that, we're now crossing over 100% on the day right now. I think it is going to be on some watches. I think people would much rather trade this than they would that other IFBD that we talked about. And if other people are in the boat of Kyle, who thinks that maybe the news is a little baloney, maybe they're a little more interested in shorting. But that's kind of the line of interest for me. I don't really plan on trading this one today. I got other stocks I'm watching. But yeah, that $1.05 area, dollar in general, just coming from sub 50 cents would be huge on a stock like this. So I think over under that area, if it were to spike into the area, hold into the afternoon, you probably have, a bullish situation where it's holding above previous resistance. Super strong spike towards that right out of the gate. You probably run it into a decent amount of resistance from everyone from this day looking to get out for break even, smaller loss, smaller gain, whatever it is. And we'll see from there. This is one I will just tend to leave alone out of the gate, check in on like noon and see if it's even close to that dollar, if it's already faded back off. Did a pretty bad job of holding its gains on this day, so wouldn't be surprised to see something similar. That's kind of how I approach it from more of a unbiased perspective of my initial goal is to not trade day one stocks. And if I am, I really want it to come to me. So if I really wanted to short this, I'd be looking the 105 area into a strong spike towards that resistance and then end up trying to risk high day. And if I was really dead set on longing this, even though I don't love buying like 150% up on the day, would have to be waiting for the afternoon for it to clearly be showing that it is supporting the area and that we've churned so much volume and kind of taking care of all that supply from that day. So that's kind of my perspective on it. Not really a top watch. Do you want to talk about SOUN for a second? I know that's where a lot of questions are going to be. Pretty insane move here. AI stock on watch from last year. Had this big area in the $5 area, was the main resistance that it was unable to break for most of 2023, faded back off towards 2. If you want to kind of touch on NVIDIA earnings last week and what you think that's done for AI.
Yeah, I mean that's really started SOU. There's if I've learned anything from like the previous AI runs, like last year. Crazy to say it was last year, but it was literally almost a year ago. Perfectly, I think. I learned there are the large cap AI stocks and there are the small cap AI stocks. And obviously, duh, Kyle. But no, I mean, there's a distinct difference where like neither of them ever really follow each other. Like they just would they would all run at the same time because AI was hot, but there was never ones following the other, if that makes sense. And so the past like month or two when NVIDIA is running with SMCI, with ARM, with AMD, like no small cap AI was taking part at all. Until news came out that NVIDIA had owned shares of SOUN, which everyone thought was a huge deal. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal. The fact that they owned a very small amount of shares, and they did it from an offering back like 3 or 4 years ago. So like the whole reason why NVIDIA even had shares was very mute. It's like they didn't really even want them. They just because they did an offering with SOUN, but they still owned them. So like they didn't sell them. So that's also, I mean, that's a little bit positive. So SOUN gapped up and then held for what 5 days, and now we're on a run to we're gone from 3 or 4 to 7 or 8, and that has ignited a lot of these now AI small caps to like SO. Nvidia's not the leader, SOUN's the leader, and now there's all these AI stocks following it. Is kind of how I see it. But even then, it's not like there's a bunch. Like I'm looking at SOUN. I have BBAI, GXAI is not even up that much. What is AI actually doing? AI is up to 1.6%. Like even then, there's really only two plays here, and it's SOUN and BBAI from I've been at breakout, which
It's
is a
kind of
breakout from
funny because when
yesterday,
AI did its big breakout last year, SOUN couldn't even muster up the strength to break 5.
right,
But now, I was
Now it
really
just
surprised by
ramps to
this,
7.
by the explosion of this move. I really was surprised to see it. I was surprised to see it at 5 yesterday, let alone 6, and then this morning to be hitting 750, 760s. Pretty crazy. Just the range, because there isn't a lot of proven range on this chart. Like when we start talking about this compared to like our general small cap runners that we're used to trading, that I'm really interested in buying. This was on watch over under $4 area, but it was I never thought it would be this type of move this fast. Usually I would be looking at that from a behavioral perspective of if the stock's done it before, then it can do it again. But even this breakout range up here that we broke out of over the 430s area was set through tops, right? It was a gap up into that zone, then a gap up as the new high, and it never really proved it could run. It was just holding a new level higher, which is what really kind of made me not like it as much. But awesome to see the volatility. Like you said, we had stocks like BBAI follow it a little bit. I don't know if there was any other. GFAI bounce a little bit. CXAI bounce a little bit. Yeah, so a couple runners. And yeah, someone asked, can you explain your trades on Soon, if any? Don't have time for that, but we do have time to tell you I didn't trade it. So I traded it. No, I didn't trade it. It was on my watch list 2 days ago or Thursday. And then just the more and more I watched it, I didn't like it for all the reasons that I just said. Yeah, there is tons of sympathies. I think we're on day 2 now of SOUN, so maybe some stuff starts to pop up today and get moving. But that's not really my focus right now. AI stocks were kind of difficult, I feel like, the first time around in 2023. So if anything does come up on volume with a good daily chart, that will be my interest. But I'm definitely not just going and trying to buy a piece of every stock with AI in the name right now.
Right. I don't think we're really in that same environment.
You got to even think percentage wise. This isn't the crazy, like it's up 24% on the day. It's just because it's so thick. It's a bigger float. This is a move from 4 to 7. It's not even 100% up on the day versus what we've been talking about the last few weeks, which is 500% up, 1,000% up. It's a different type of mover with different types of catalysts.
Yep.
All right. Take a couple questions, get out of here, unless you had more what you wanted to say there.
Nope. I was about to say the same thing. We'll take 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll get back into the room. I do have a webinar today at 11 Eastern, so get excited for that.
Yeah, if you want access to that, you can always join Clover and get in for the trial, or just go ahead and join, see what we're all about. We post watch lists every night, post our trade alerts in the room, as well as video lessons weekly, webinars, 2 to 3 of them every week. So yeah, consider it. If you like what you see in here on YouTube, give us a chance. Hopefully grow your education. Some questions I see. Thoughts on JANX? Kyle?
Let me see. JANX? $35 stock.
Another one of those looking like a mid-cap gap up.
Yeah, $35 stock came from 15. Not interested. No thanks.
Yeah, generally when you see gap ups like this on mid caps or large caps, it's usually warranted because you have they trade more volume consistently throughout the year than the small caps that just go extinct. There's a lot more of, not necessarily bag holders, investors maybe you call them. So on these big gap up days, it's really unpredictable for me to know if they hold the gap, if they fade off, then absorb it and then bounce back. It's just not what we trade, not what we specialize in, not what we have experience looking at. So when we have gaps like this, it's just not the niche. Like I said, SMCI came into our niche because of how crazy it traded. Most of these mid to large caps don't end up doing that. Do you guys trade these Chinese stocks both long and short? Depends on the situation, depends on level of conviction, depends on the float, depends on the daily chart. Is it overextended in one day or is it a multi-day mover? I traded holo a couple times because it came into my specialty with first green days and breakouts, but for the most part, I do avoid them on the front side, let them do their crazy things. I traded them a lot more in 2022, but there was a different level of edge there back then.
Right.
Someone said fun gap up 5,000%. Oh, it looks like a reverse split. Yeah, because what was this price? 20 to 50 cents, somewhere in there. So they just done a reverse split. Now it's $10 a share. That's all that is. Some brokers will not really account for the reverse split on the day of, and you'll see it on your scanners and stuff. It's up, from wherever it was at yesterday, probably like 30 cents up to $10. That is not the case. Get to one more question. Get out of here. Someone asked thoughts on ROOT overextended. I'm gonna guess red day. Easy to borrow up on earnings, so there's some conflicting indicators. I have not heard of this one yet. Why are there so many higher price stocks that were? What do you think here? Earnings winner, someone said. Really nice trender, up from 10 towards the 20, so about 100% move over 3 days.
Say the ticker again.
ROOT, root.
Root. I am root.
Yeah, not I'm en route to you right now, but yeah. What is the bottom? What is the base of a tree? What is root?
I mean, daily does look good.
It's never gone red.
Volume is a little bit lower than I'd like, but yeah, I mean, the price is a little higher than I like. But it does look good. I can't deny the fact that it's 3 days up, 130% roughly, 140%. Never gone green. My only worry is just what will the volume be out the open, but it does look good. I can't deny. So, will I take it? I don't know. There's a lot of other watches I have on watch today, so I don't think Root's going to be maybe a priority.
Yeah, it's always one of those things when you bring up something you didn't know about on the, what do we have, 15 minutes till the open? You always just kind of second guess yourself on if you're just trying to find another stock to trade when you haven't really prepared for it.
Right. It's the last thing I want to do is try to trade 7 different stocks and miss 3 more than just focus on the main 3 and then not miss any of them,
Yep.
So
TJS, what's your percentage gap and also market cap requirements for shorting stocks? TJ, that's a great question for the webinars or in the room. Really like to keep this about pre-market prep and tickers, but we would have no problem answering that question over in the room or at webinars. Spark some good discussion, especially for our short sellers who give webinars like Kyle and Huddy. But that is the hour, or not even the hour, whatever, our time. Someone said Root is still small cap, even though it's higher priced. Look into that real quick.
Great.
9 million float, it says. 318 mil market cap.
Yeah, so
that's quite interesting. Yeah, I guess it was at 8 recently. But that's it. So tomorrow morning, remember that if you're new here to the channel, on Wednesdays we do live trading at 9:15 a.m. So I'd like to spice things up, do a quick pre-market prep, go through our watch list, what we're looking for the day, what's generally only for 4-leaf subscribers, and then we'll do a little live trading session. Hopefully watch Kyle make or lose some money for some entertainment purposes. And then, just kind of a little switch up from what we normally do here in Good Morning NASDAQ. So tomorrow's smart start time is 9:15 a.m. Write that down so you don't forget it. People will say tomorrow in the chat that we are late when we show up at 9:15, but we are right on time, and I'm telling you that right now. Thank you guys for your time. Make sure you are subscribed right here to the Clover Trading channel with that notification bell turned on so you never miss when we go live, which is often. And I continuously remind you about what times we are live, but people still forget, so make sure you have that bell rung. All right, Kyle, what do you say we head on over to the room, get ready to go, get ready to trade some stocks?
I love it. Peace, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas Eve.